Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Today we are looking at the Floating Fortress. So, the HAVR A9 Floating Fortress, known simply as the Floating Fortress or the Havar A9, was a repulsor craft equipped armored transport manufactured by Ubrikian Industries. It heavily resembled the K-79 S-80 Imperial troop transport as it was designed by the vehicle's same division. It was favored by the Imperial Army in urban environments. Its smaller profile made it a more versatile counterpart to the Imperial all-terrain armored transport. Looking at what else we have here for the characteristics, as we look here on Wikipedia today, the Floating Fortress was a heavily armored repulsor craft equipped transport that bore a heavy resemblance to the Imperial troop transport. Every surface of the Havar 9 was equipped with nigh impenetrable armor, and it had a short range dorsal mounted laser turret with two barrels that could aim and fire independently. The Floating Fortress chassis itself was a weapon, being able to plow through most obstacles. The vehicle was also equipped with an advanced medium range sensor array, and its repulsor lift had a maximum altitude of 20 meters. Behind the scenes, the Havar 9 Floating Fortress was first mentioned in the Star Wars canon in Forged in Battle in 2016 sourcebook for the Star Wars Age of Rebellion role-playing game published by Fantasy Flight Games. It originated in the Star Wars Legends continuity, where it was first mentioned by the Imperial Sourcebook 1989 sourcebook for West End Games Star Wars the role-playing game. That's the whole thing. To me, this is an old iconic West End Games vehicle, really for kind of adding extra flavor in that to um, the Empire. So we'll switch on over. We'll take a look at the stats that we have listed there. As you can kind of see on the side here on Wikipedia, this is not a very cheap craft. It is 130,000 credits, um, having the two dual lasers, or two laser cannons or whatever, all on the same turret, but they can fire independently of each other. So let's see what we have here. All right, so getting to the floating fortress as it is in the book. Again, it is the Havar A9 floating fortress. This is at Walker scale, has a length of 17.4 meters, and it is impressive to sit here and say that it can go about 20 meters off the ground. Let's see, we have a crew of two and additional two gunners. As you can note on the look of the craft, it does have the two cannons, and if you had seen that on the side view of Wikipedia, it did show the two of them firing separately from each other. Let's see, we do have 10 troops for passengers, as well as 1 metric ton worth of cargo space available. Let's see, we do have altitude, ground level, to 2 meters, and has about a 70 or 200 kilometers an hour movement speed. We do have a body strength of 5D, so this is very resilient. Having just the two heavy blaster cannons, these are the ones that are on the turret. Fire control is 2D, damage is 5D, and this comes from the Imperial Sourcebook, page 72 and 73. The Imperial Sourcebook really brought in a lot of tech and a lot of kind of operations in that we don't really get to see in the canon. Most notably, I will say it this way: when we look at the Star Wars movies, originally they would come up with one model and they would just do a copy and paste to have a couple of them in there. So really, all we got to see was the Star Destroyers. But what we don't really get to see are the Star Destroyers and the whole picket fleet and all that surrounds them. much like today's modern Navy. You have an aircraft carrier, and then you have all the different frigates and supply craft and so on and so forth. The same thing would go on for the Imperial Navy. Now, for the Army, you may have vessels or vehicles like this where it is a big command center. Yes, you have room for 10 troops, but really it's meant for command and control of a battlefield that you're going to put somewhere, hopefully in a secure area, and then you're going to have your other tanks and other support vehicles to take care of all the other things you're going to have. Um, think, Thinking about this, maybe if I can remember correctly, or to do this for the next time, one of the things I don't think I've seen, I've never really looked too much for it because usually I don't get into the back lines as much or think about the back lines in the military aspect for Star Wars. But I'm sure that they have a couple MASH vehicles, and I'm sure that we have something there. I'll try and see if I can't look that up for the next one, but we'll see how things go. But with that being said, thank you so very much for stopping by. I know this is a shorter video, but you know, being one of the vehicles that's done as a behind the scenes vehicle, really more for the role playing game. It's not like we get as much extra flavor as what we do with some of the canon vehicles and that. So, hope you're doing well. We'll see you in the next video.